You realize millennials with degrees are living with roommates into their 30s, not having kids? How do you have a Thanksgiving in a 900 square foot apartment? How do you have a dog and go play in the backyard and make memories with your kids? I was living in an apartment complex just 2.5 years ago. Tons of kids. They may do, but they're all playing on the cement floors in the hallway because they don't have a yard. Because houses are $400,000. Humans are good at adapting, but there's a fine line between adapting and being taken advantage of, and I think we're being taken advantage of.
I want to address this video only because, to me, it seems a little entitled. Because I grew up where I grew up in the South Bronx. I know a lot of kids who played in the hallways because we didn't have backyards. When you grow up in an urban center, or in the city or in the hood, as opposed to growing up in the suburbs or in the country, kids don't have access to things like a backyard a lot of the time. Or if they do, because I know my family, we lived in a house in the South Bronx, but our backyard was like super tiny. It was like the size of most people's clothing closet. It was small. So there was no place for us to actually play around. It was just enough room for my mom to have a little rose garden, and that was it. And maybe, for maybe about 7 or 8 people to sit down and do like a little barbecue, and that's it. The point I'm trying to make is, there's a lot of kids who grow up without having a backyard and they turn out okay. So, I have to realize that people, have different experiences. And this gentleman, he probably grew up with a backyard. I grew up with one too. Not the one in the Bronx, but the one in the Caribbean, where I grew up for the first part of my life. My grandmother had a big front yard and she had a decent backyard, and I would go crazy. And because I grew up literally in a village, I could go to any one of my neighbors' homes and they all had front and backyards too and play there. Different experience. So we kind of have to stay on task when it comes to the things that are actually necessities for the country, right? And for the people of this country. Not everyone is going to have a backyard, but everyone should have free healthcare. Not everyone is going to be able to have a bunch of toys, but everyone should be able to go to school for free. Not everyone is going to have everything, but most Americans, or the majority of Americans, should have the basic necessities of a developed country.